Personal budget project has basically three components. One is the summary, and the second one is a template, and then we have subsequent weeks, week one, week two, and other weeks. So let me just take a look at the summary sheet, and so we have a number of categories. So food at home, so basically that's the groceries that you buy from grocery stores and then you cook it at home. And food away from home is basically what you buy at restaurants and fast food and so on. And then we have housing, so that could be rent, mortgage, electricity bills, gas, let's see, water bills, and so on. And then apparel, so clothing, all the clothing that you buy, and services such as dry clean and things like that. And we have transportation, that could be gasoline that you buy for your car, bus fares you pay, and that sort of kind of things. And then healthcare, that'll be your health insurance premium or medications that you buy. And then entertainment, so that could be your cable bill, movie tickets, concerts and things like that. And personal insurance, I think I made a mistake here. Personal insurance, actually personal insurance is for like a life insurance. So you may pay, $10, $20 a month for your life insurance. And savings. Savings is not the amount that is left over from spending all expenditures, but it is actual money that you put aside, actively. So let's say I want to save $100 a month, so I put that amount from my checking account to a savings account. So that's a saving. And school and childcare, basically tuition, books, and if you have kids, you may have a childcare, babysitters, and things like that, and other expenditures. So anything that doesn't fit into any of these categories, then you put it in there. So, for example, specialty items that you buy or you purchase. For example, a gift. Or anything that doesn't fit in here. Okay, so that'll be other expenditures. So let's go to the template. And template is something that you want to have everything, including the format, like a color, font face, and these borders and background colors. And incidentally, this template doesn't have the formulas yet, but you want to have formulas all filled in, so that all you need to do in order to create a new sheet, just copy and paste it into new sheet, and so that'll be it, and you don't have to do anything except putting the data. So that's what the template sheet is about. It's not complete yet, and we will do so. And here's a sample. So what you need to do is put some data here, the individual expenditures, and put a date. And the way you put the date is, let me just demonstrate it. So let's say May, that's 5 slash 5, and then you hit the enter key, and then it'll turn into 5-May. Okay, so 5-May, the way you put it in is 5, that's for May, and 5, let's put it 4 to make a distinction, and that'll be May 4th. And hit the enter key, and it shows that way. Because I already have put a format, the date format for these cells. All right, then categories. The way you put the category is using this drop-down menu. Again, I already set this up. Let's say housing, and then let's say I put I paid rent, and the amount would be, let's say, $1,200. So that's how you put these individual items, and that should be added up here automatically. Okay, so food at home, all the grocery items from the individual expenditures get added up and put it in here. So that will be my weekly summary. So the weekly summary of all my expenditures is this. And then eventually we are going to put it in the summary here. So that'll be week 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll have the monthly amount based on all the categories. So that's our roadmap. That's our plan. So let's start from the template. And as I said, we haven't finished this template completely yet. So because we're lacking the formulas, but we'll do that after this. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. To copy the entire sheet, you just click on that little square between row number 1 and column A. So that's a little square in the corner. Click on it. So that selects the entire sheet, and I'm going to copy it. You'll see the marching ants going around the entire sheet. And let's say go to week 1. And then click on cell A1. So that's indicating that I want to start pasting from that spot, that cell A1. And then go ahead and click on paste. All right, so we have this, and then first thing we want to delete this text box. That text box is from the template sheet, and we don't need that. So I want to delete it. So to delete it, you click on a border. See that four-headed arrow? You can click there, or you can click there, or you can click there. Any side of the border. Click when you have that four-headed arrow. Okay, and then press the delete key on your keyboard, so that deletes. If you don't click on the border, so let's say your insertion point is right there, right? And if you press the delete key, it'll delete whatever things inside. So that's not what you want. You need to click on the border when you have that four-headed arrow. Click and then press delete key. All right, so let me just quickly copy my sample. Okay, and I do not want you to do this because I want you to actually put your data here, your data, not the sample. So the way I want you to put the data here is that I want you to put maybe some real data and some fictitious, meaning not real data combined. So because I'm not really interested in to know your real life expenditures, but I also want you to experience some real experience as well. So I'll leave it up to you in terms of what you put in here. But go ahead and do so. whether that's real or fictitious or combination and so on. So go ahead and put it in, and let's say I put that in there. Okay, let me just go ahead and undo this first, and let's see. Yeah, okay, I see. I'm gonna go back to sample, and I'm gonna select this part, just the data part. Okay, again, that's not what I want you to do. I'm just doing this for the sake of saving time here. So I put all this, let's say, individual expenditures, and from now on we are going to populate the formulas. So the first thing we will do is let's see. Oh, I think I made a mistake. You know what? Let me go back. Sorry about that. Let me go back to sample, and I'm going to copy the entire thing. Okay, got a little bit confused here. So paste it there. All right, so let's say I have all this data. Okay, and first thing I'm going to do is calculating the total of all this. And well, since I selected, well, let me just go ahead and click on the cell for the total amount, and then I'm going to use AutoSum, and make sure that the marching ends surrounds the entire column, of course excluding the total cell, but it includes the blank cells as well, because when I add, so let's go ahead and hit the enter key to finalize it. So I have, let's say, $2,987, but what if I add more? So let's say I went out for movies, and that'll be entertainment, and I spent, let's say, $20. Oopsie, I'm going to say movies, and then I'm going to put $20. So notice that it'll change the total here, because these blank spaces, blank cells also included. Okay, so that formula is complete. So next one will be, we want to populate the category names. So there are a couple of different ways, but I'll show you both ways. So let me just go to the summary, and then I'm going to copy the category names. So notice that I copied from row number 2 to 12, and then copy it and go to week 1 and click on cell A3. That's the first category name that I'm going to put it in, and then paste. So I copied and paste, so which is perfectly fine, right? You'll be learning the next option. Let me just undo this. You'll be learning this momentarily. There's another way, which is something called kind of linking. So in the cell A3, you press you enter equal sign, and then click on the summary tab right down here, and then click on the cell A2, which contains the first category name, and notice the formula bar. It says equal sign summary, which is the name of the tab, followed by exclamation mark, which indicates that this is the name, the summary is the name of a sheet, and then followed by the cell reference A2. So once you have that, what do you think? It basically means it is equal to whatever you have here on the summary sheet. And let's go ahead and enter key. So do not click on summary, the week 1 tab. Do not do that. So once you have the cell reference here, hit the enter key, and then you're back to week 1, and that's what you have. And then once I have that, I can do the autofill. So that's second method. The advantage of using this is that if and should I change anything, the category name, let's say housing, from housing I can say housing expenditures or housing costs and things like that. Let me just go ahead and do that. If I change it, it gets updated automatically here because I use the a formula. Okay, let me go back to summary and change back. Undo. Week 1. There. Okay, so that's good. So the next step is putting the formula for total amount. So here is the deal. So I want to go through these individual expenditures and pick and choose certain items. So I mean certain items that belong to, let's say, one category. So food away from home. You know, I see 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, food at home. Do I have a food at home? Yes. Here it's a grocery. Food at home. There's another. And then once I find them, I add the total, the amount. That amount and that amount, and there's another one. That amount. Add them up and displayed here. So this will be the weekly summary of each individual category. Okay, so there is something, a special function called SUMIF. So we know what sum function does, and we know what if function does. And SUMIF function is basically combined sum and if function together into one function. Okay. So let me go ahead and start. So click on B3 for food at home. So I want to go through all the individual expenditure table and add them up, all the items that belong to food at home. So that's what we are going to do. So click on B3 and then click on insert function button here. And then we're going to look for SUMIF. So notice that I didn't put any up, not SUM, SUMIF. And notice that I did not put any blank space between the words sum and if. So it is just SUMIF. Okay. And then click on go. And the first item that is selected is SUMIF. That's what we want. So click on OK. And we have a dialog box here for SUMIF. And the range, so what is the range? Range here is that it says right here, it says range is the range of cells that you want to evaluate. What does that mean? Well, you evaluate meaning that you want to compare. And compare with what? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. So we are going to evaluate first. So while the insertion pointer is blinking, you click, hold it down, and drag it all the way down to the last possible individual item. So that excludes the total. So don't go all the way down to the bottom of the table, but one before. And you see the marching ants going around, and it's going to evaluate individual category that I entered here. Okay, and then criteria. Criteria means is the condition or criteria in the form of a number, expression, or text that defines which cell will be added. Okay, it basically means that it's going to, let me just go ahead and do this first. Okay, so this criteria, I'm going to click on cell A3. So here I'm setting up, okay, I want to go through the category here, and it's like all the individual expenditures categories of housing, other expenditures, food away from home, food at home, transportation, all that stuff. I want to compare with what's in A3. What's in A3 is it is food at home. That is FOOD space AT space HOME. So if it is the same, whatever that I find here, if it's the same, then same with that, and then add the number. So where are the numbers? Here they are. So click on sum range, and click on the first item. It doesn't matter whether that's the first item is food at home or not. Just select the whole range for the amount. I don't include the amount, the column heading, by the way. So I just include the number all the way to here. Of course, I do not include the total, but one above the total. Okay, and so that's the range. And right now, the preview says, let me just go back up here. The food at home, which is A3, and I went through the range of cells, all the categories, and then if the criteria and range match, then add all the numbers in between these two cells. And that's what I have. And currently I have $379.95 for food at home, and that sounds about right. So I'm going to click on OK. So $380. So let's see what's going on here. What happened? So it looked for food at home. So food at home here, $125. You add it. Okay. And the next one, food at home, is this one. So about $20. So 125 and 20, so 145. And then the third item is about 235. So 370, something like that. Is that what it is? Yeah. 380. So that's how it is calculated. And now I want to autofill this. But the problem, if I do it just the way it is now, is that it's going to, so A3 should become A4, A5, A6, and A7, and so on. But this range from the table here and that range from this table is also going to go down. So I don't want that. So I want to anchor these two range of cells. And what do? I can just press F4 or go and put a $ in front of each column and row reference. $ and $ there. So the category down here, it'll stay the same, meaning that it's not going to go down from 17 to 18 and so on. It'll stay where it is. And also this one, and also it'll stay where it is by pressing, or I can just put the $ manually to demonstrate to you it's possible. Just make sure that I do it right. So I put the $ in front of a column and row reference and hit the enter key, and then I do the autofill. Notice that the ranges stay the same. Look at the formula bar here. and except the category changes. So category for other expenditures 270, is that about right? Okay, I have other expenditures, just one item here and there. So I have 250 and then I have $20, so that'll be $270, and there you go. And the total will be easy, order sum, check the marching ends, hit enter key, and there you have it. And let's go ahead and save this. So this sheet is complete. So I want you to add more individual expenditures and see how that changes, the total changes, and see how these amounts change, and that's how that the total, that'll be weekly total, changes, and see how it goes. And then of course you don't need this text boxes anymore, so click on the border, enter delete, and delete, and this is the formula, the function dialog box, that's the example, and you can go ahead and delete that. You don't need that anymore. And perhaps I shouldn't delete that yet. Because what I want you to do is go back to the template and then populate the formula. So formula for total amounts for the weekly summary and the total for the whole week, and then the total function here. So let me just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to just click on first total for the individual expenditures. So hit the enter key, the auto sum, and because this whole column is blank, it doesn't give the range of cells. That's okay. Once I press the auto sum button and then click, hold it down, and then go up to right below amount. So between the column heading and the total, so that is D18 colon D40. So you can go ahead and type this with your keyboard or use the mouse. Either way, it's fine. And of course, it's going to say 0. But if you just want to make sure that it is right, you can enter it 10 here, you can enter 10 here, and see if that does the trick. All right, so I confirmed that formula is correct. Let me remove the testing data here. And then let's see the category. I'm going to use the equal sign, go to summary, and then click on A2, and then hit the enter key. And I'm back to its template, and then do the autofill. And then here, I'm going to use a SUMIF. So click on the insert function button, look for SUMIF, no space between sum and if, and then click on go. And the first one is SUMIF, that's good, and click on OK. And the range is the category. So I do not include the column heading, the category, but right below, click, hold it down, drag it, and of course I do not include the total row, but right above. And then criteria. Well, before I go to criteria, I can just highlight this and press function 4, F4. So I put the $signs in front. Okay, and then the next one would be criteria. Criteria is that food at home. So A3, I do not put dollar signs because I want to increase as I autofill it. And sum range is the amounts. Again, click right below the word column heading amount, and then scroll down, and then right above the total, and let go. And that's D18 colon D40. Again, function 4, F4, and then hit the enter key. Currently is 0 because nothing is there, and then I autofill it. And for total, auto sum, and hit the enter key. Let's give it a test drive here. So I'm going to choose food at home, grocery, and I bought $10. And then let's say I'm going to have entertainment, let's say movies, $20. And I bought another grocery items, food at home, I said this time $5. And notice that I go down at the bottom, the total is $35 because 10, 20, and 5 all together is $35. That's good. And let's see if that matches with this total, because food at home is $15 because I have this item and that item, and then entertainment I have just one item but it shows up there, therefore it is $35. Okay, so then once I confirm all the formulas are correct, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and now the template is complete with all the formulas, all the headings, column headings, row headings, and all the colors and bold text and all that kind of things that I want to make it fancy and clear, but also has the formulas, and that's complete. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So when you want to do week 2, it's currently blank, so let me just go ahead and go back to template, and I copy the entire sheet and copy it, select the entire sheet and go and copy it, and then go to week 2, cell A1, select it and then paste it, and guess what, everything's there. So all you need to do is populate the individual expenditure items. Alright, so next one will be inserting more sheets here. So click on add more sheet button here, and then double click that, and then you replace that week 3, hit the enter key, go to template, copy the entire sheet, go to week 3 and paste it. And you can just go on, and then we'll move on to summary next time. Okay, thank you.